If you're a footballer between 14 and 17 and you've been training for years but you still get outplayed in training and games, this video is for you. If every time you scroll on Instagram and TikTok and you feel like everyone else is making progress except for you, this video is going to help you eradicate that feeling. These 3 shifts have helped me go from 7 years of slow progress to trialing in 2 different countries in a single year, and it'll help you finally lock in and get the results that you want. The first shift that changed everything for me was one that kept me stuck for way longer than it should have. And the reason I was stuck for so long was because I was happy with the progress that I was making. It wasn't until I looked back that I realized how much time I had actually wasted. For the first 7 years of my football journey, I thought I was training the right way. I would go to the field, I'll do some ball work, and then I'd add either a fitness session or an agility session at the end of it. Sometimes I'd even use my technical sessions as fitness sessions. I would finish the session exhausted, feeling like I had put in the work. And I was seeing improvements. I was seeing tiny changes in the way I controlled the ball. My touch was getting better. I was getting fitter. My stamina was improving slightly. So I kept doing what I was doing. But I didn't realize that I was actually sabotaging both my technical training and my fitness training. Because when I was doing my ball work as fitness work, I was actually doing my technical training tired. And when you're tired, your technique breaks down. Instead of reinforcing good ones, I was just building sloppy technique. And on the flip side, the fitness training that I was doing wasn't intense enough that I would be able to build a good fitness base. I was mixing ball work with fitness work, so I couldn't actually push myself as hard as I needed to. I was using maintenance training to try and build a good fitness base. That is like trying to keep a house clean while you're renovating. You're not going to be able to do either properly. And this went on for 7 years. 7 years where I was making tiny incremental progress, thinking that I was moving forward, but I was actually just spinning my wheels. And yes, I was improving, so technically it was working. But I could have made 7 to 8 times the progress if I had just done the fitness work on its own and pushed myself as hard as I should have. So I decided that I was going to give fitness a dedicated session that was completely separate from the ball work. So I would go down to the field every morning, and the aim would be to just improve on my fitness. I would start with a fitness session, I would give it my all, and then if I felt like it, then I would do some ball work. And so my initial plan was to do the fitness work for 1 month, but then I ended up doing it for 2 months. And in the first month, it sucked. I couldn't even get the drills under the allocated time. I was tired, it felt like I haven't worked on fitness in years. And in month 2, all of a sudden, everything changed. I was flying through the drills, I was finishing them under the allocated time. And not just that, but my technical sessions also increased in quality because now I was able to do my ball work under higher intensity. And so the point that I want to make to you is you have to pick a singular focus. You're stuck because you're trying to do too many things at once, and now it's just overwhelming you. I'm sure if you did an honest analysis of yourself as a player, there is one thing about your game that is holding you back, and that needs to be your main priority. That does not mean that you don't do anything else, but even if you don't get anything else done, this has to be done. Because once you have built this, maintaining it becomes so much easier. I used to train fitness 4 to 5 times a week when I was building it. Now I only do it twice a week to maintain it. If you front load the effort, it becomes a lot easier to maintain it in the long run. Quick interruption to this video. If you want to stay 3 steps ahead in your next match, the Tactical IQ Accelerator is for you. Within your next 2 to 3 match reviews, you'll be able to spot patterns earlier on the pitch, and you'll know exactly when to speed up or take control of the play. It takes 60 to 90 minutes per game, and you'll walk into your next match creating chances instead of reacting to them. And all of this costs less than a pair of league football boots. So if you're interested in investing in your tactical IQ, click the link in the pinned comment down below. Now the second shift is one that most players avoid because once you see it, you can't unsee it. And the reason you would avoid it is because it would force you to confront exactly how much of time you're giving away without even realizing it. A few months ago, I was scrolling on my phone when I heard that the average person spends about 3 hours a day on their phone. Now 3 hours a day over the course of 10 years, that's 10,950 hours or 465 days. Over a year spent just scrolling on your phone. So now I hopped over into my settings to see how I held up against this number. True enough, my screen time was 3 hours and 47 minutes, and that wasn't even a bad day. It was just an average one. On some days, my screen time was over 4 hours. So all those days where I felt like I had so much to do and my days were packed, was actually just me spending 4 hours scrolling on my phone. And the worst part is, for the time that I was scrolling on my phone, I was telling myself that I should be training right now, but I wasn't actually doing it. So here's what I did instead. I took 30 minutes from that scrolling time and I added it to my training sessions. Now, at this time, I was still already training, but I told myself that if I could scroll for 4 hours, I can surely train for an extra 30 minutes. And no, I didn't quit scrolling, I still scroll on my phone, but now I scroll knowing that I put extra effort into training an extra 30 minutes a day. And most of the time, that 30 minutes is to kind of just kickstart the training. When I do get into it, I end up training for about 45 minutes to an hour or so. So if you find that you're scrolling for hours, just take out 30 minutes from your scrolling time, and I promise you that you will see your schedule change. Because training in itself is a low dopamine activity. Not only are you getting your training, but it brings down your dopamine levels so that you don't actually crave scrolling as much. Now, if you want to go into more detail about dopamine and how it works, check out this video here. Now, the third shift is the most important one. It is the one that will also change how you approach your training. Most players have this backwards, and until you change it, you are going to keep chasing something that is never going to come. Most of you right now probably feel like you have to force yourself to train. And it sucks sometimes to just go on the internet and see that all these people just seem so motivated to train and they don't have to actually force themselves to do all of this. But after playing football for 11 long years, I can tell you that everyone is in the exact same boat as you are. Even till this day, despite loving this game so much, there are still times where I don't want to go to the gym. But I do it anyway. And I know that most of you out there don't actually train when you don't feel like training because you're waiting on something that is never going to come, and that is motivation. Your motivation will only come from taking actions and not the other way around. And if you wait for motivation to strike for you to train, you'd probably train like 2 times in a given year. And the reason that action drives motivation is because action drives results. But more importantly, action drives identity. The actions that you take reinforce the identity that you want to build for yourself. And this identity is important because in the long run, when you need a sense of direction, your identity will show you the way. Now, if you want a deep dive on how to build this identity properly, check it out here. Thank you for watching. I hope you've gained something valuable from this video.